Hello, family. Welcome to the Breath of Life session. This is the place where we talk about issues that affect the course and the quality of our lives. And one of the issues we have been talking about is relationships and how to manage it. Please join us today as we look at ways of cultivating healthy relationships in a family. My name is Kaka Nico, and this is the Ball Session. We want to try to understand how we can build healthy relationships in our family. And Ma'am Joyce will help us through that.
Thank you. As you have said, having healthy relationships with our children is a very great thing in life. And there are many ways in which parents can cultivate that healthy relationship with their children. And the greatest of them all is being there for them, being available so that they are able to respond to the needs of the children. And when we talk about the needs of the children, there are many. They are the basic needs that we know, food, shelter, clothing, education, health. But there are other needs we call the needs of the heart. And most parents are not able to give their children the needs of the heart. And this is what makes them not to have better relationships with their children. And today I want us to discuss three needs of the heart that are very important for every child. The first one is the need for security. The other one is the need for value. Children want to feel valued by their parents. And the other one is the need to be loved. And there are many ways in which parents can show value to their children. The first one, by appreciating them, by acknowledging them, appreciating what they do in life. And there is also three ways in which parents can communicate love to children. The first one is through words of praise, words of kindness that really communicates that I really love you as my child. And there's another way of communicating love to children is through affection, a hug, a touch. And another one that is really major in communicating love to children is through spending meaningful time together. And when I say meaningful time, I don't mean the length of the time. It can be short, but it is quality time. And spending quality and meaningful time with children really gives the parent time to be able to know their children, know their needs, and be able to create that healthy relationship with them. The children also, in turn, will know their parents and know how to relate well with them. Therefore, that is one way in which parents can really cultivate that healthy relationship with their children.
Speaking of parents, what are these things that parents do unknowingly or knowingly that may make their kids to be insecure in a relationship or rather in a family?
There are things that parents do, either knowingly or unknowingly, that sometimes make children feel insecure. And one of them is that children may feel insecure if their parents do not relate well. The father and the mother, maybe they are conflicting. This can create a lot of insecurity in children. Experiencing maybe parents arguing with each other in front of the children or even fighting physically, that is one thing that can really make children feel insecure. And especially if they experience either verbal or even physical confrontation of their parents in front of them, that can really ruin the relationship and really create a lot of insecurity with the children. Another thing that can create insecurity with the children is when parents have excessive demands to the children. Maybe they are young children, they're in school, and each one has their strength. But the parents may have very high expectations of the children. Maybe they want them to get an A if they're in high school. Maybe they want them to pass or do well than children of so and so, or even start comparing their siblings. Maybe why are you not doing as well as your brother or as well as your sister? So having that very high expectations of the children or high demand can really make children feel insecure. Another thing that can make children feel insecure is if parents keep comparing them, as I have said. If they are comparing them with their siblings, if they are comparing them with their friends, that can really bring a lot of insecurity with children. And if parents show favoritism, maybe they favor one child above the other, that child that is experiencing or seeing the other one being favored against them feel very insecure. Yeah, and the other factors also that can bring insecurity in the family, maybe some of them parents have no control over. Maybe an issue like extreme poverty. If there is extreme poverty in the family, that can bring about insecurity in the children. And maybe that one, maybe parents cannot do anything, but there are those that they can really do something in order to avoid and make the children feel secure. And maybe if there is a disease or maybe one of the parents is sick or one of the children is sick, that is one thing that also can bring insecurity in the family. So parents have a lot they need to do, they can do to contribute to the security of children in the family. Yeah.
And so, speaking of siblings, how can a parent handle siblings' rivalry in the family?
Okay, sibling rivalry
Yes.
is something that is normal. And this comes about as children compete for attention of the parents. And it can go beyond. And that is when now you start feeling it needs to be attended. So maybe one thing that parents can do to be able to handle and to be able to deal with sibling rivalry is to treat their children fairly. It's not, some people say you treat children equally, but it's not possible to treat children equally because children are unique and they have unique needs, but you can show, as parents, you can treat them fairly so that if a child sees I'm being treated fairly, even though I'm not being treated as equally as my other sibling, they are able to minimize the sibling rivalry. And the other thing that parents can do also to minimize sibling rivalry is to keep encouraging the children to relate in a healthy way through talking to them, maybe through setting rules and guidelines that lead them in the family that can really dictate on how each family member or each sibling relates to their brother or sister. Let the children themselves sort themselves out unless it goes out of hand. That's when, as a parent, you can come in and maybe try to talk it out, and don't try to ask who began it, who started, who did what. Just help them to work it out. Yeah. Yes.
And I also believe that as a kid, I have a part to play in that relationship.
Yes.
What are these ways that a kid can cultivate a healthy relationship with their parents?
Okay. Children also have their role to play.
Yes.
First of all, it's important that children know what is expected of them by their parents. And if there are expectations that are genuine, they try to live by those expectations. One thing that children should know, that the parents have their best interest at heart. Even though maybe the way and the means they use to bring that out sometimes is not right. Yeah, but everything a parent tries to do, most parents, let me say not all, but most parents, they have their kids' best interest at heart. So if children know that, they'll be able to know and try to cultivate this relationship with their parents. Kids also should learn to appreciate the parents because parents sacrifice a lot in order to cater for their children's need, and therefore when parents are appreciated, they will also reciprocate by appreciating the children and the relationship will continue to build. And therefore also children need to follow the scriptures. The scriptures in Ephesians 6 ask children to honor and respect their parents. And this is a commandment that comes with a promise. And in the same verse also it deals with parents, because parents are also told not to provoke their children to anger, but to bring them up, to nurture them into the ways of the Lord. So if they follow the same scripture, they will definitely be able to nurture a great relationship, both the parents and the children. Yes.
Sometimes in a family, as a young person, you may pinpoint issues that you feel you may be able to maybe correct or address. As a young person, how do you do this without your parents feeling that you don't respect them?
Okay. We don't have perfect parents, just as much as we don't have perfect children. So parents in their process of parenting, they make lots of mistakes, and maybe the children see these are mistakes that need to be corrected. And maybe what can help children to be able to pinpoint these things and be able even to correct a parent who has done something that is wrong. The first thing is the timing. When do you do it? Because if you do it immediately, it has happened. The tension might be high, may still be high. Maybe as a child you are annoyed and the parent maybe is upset. So you look at the correct timing, good timing, when all of you are calm and when maybe you're in good mood. And if you have open communication, which is also a great way in which parents can nurture the relationship with the children by creating that open communication, you are able to bring it out when the moods are good and when everyone is calm. And then the next thing is, how do you do it? Because how you do it also matters a lot. Maybe I bring it in form of a complaint. So the parent might resist because I've brought it in the wrong way as a complaint. But maybe I can begin by complimenting the parent and appreciating what they have done right. Then in the process, I can also pinpoint very wisely, that this and this, I think we need to change in a very polite way. And maybe there are some parents who are not approachable. Maybe a child can also use somebody that is close to them, somebody they trust, like maybe an auntie or an uncle, or even one of the other parent. Maybe it's the father who's not approachable, or it's the mother. They can use the other partner just to share with them and ask them to, in a wise way, to be able to bring that out to the other parent. Yeah.
And one of the issues that are critical is parents' conflict. How do you handle that as a kid in the family without, one of them seeing like you're siding with the other? We may know that mom is wrong or dad is wrong, but how do we go about it in a manner that will not create bad blood either, with mom or with the dad, and still we, maintain that relationship?
Yeah, that is not an easy thing to do. And when parents are in conflict, that brings a lot of stress to the children. And one temptation that it gives the children is to blame themselves. So the first thing, you need to know that you are not the problem. The problem is between your parents, so you are not the problem, so you should not feel guilty about it. So that will help you to keep calm and also to be able to relate well with both the parents. The other thing, you should not take sides. Remember, these are your parents. You'll never have another mother, you'll never have another father. So even if they're in conflict, and even if it goes ahead and they even part ways, you still become son of so-and-so, daughter of so-and-so. Therefore, know that those are your parents, and therefore never ever take sides. I know it is not easy, but try not to take sides. And it's good that you also try to know what is happening. Seek for information. You can ask one of the parents, maybe the one that you can be able to approach easily, or if it's possible, get there from both sides. Hear from the father, hear from the mother, and avoid the temptation of becoming a confidant to either of them, and also the temptation of letting the other person speak ill about the other person. So it is not easy, as I said as we began, but it can work. Just try to be neutral if it's possible, and try to know just enough information. You can't know everything. Yeah, just have a rough idea of what is happening so that you don't imagine so many things. Yeah, and also, as I said, it can be overwhelming. So you can also try to talk it out with somebody you trust, or even a counselor, somebody that can help you to be able to navigate through this period. It's not always easy. Yeah. In summary, we say we can have healthy family relationships by being committed to it, both parents and children, and also relying on God, because by our own we can do only very little. But with God, as the Bible says in Philippians 4:13, that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So we don't have a manual for parenting, we don't have a manual for children to know how to relate with their parents, but the Bible can be our manual, and we can rely on the strength of God to be able to do our part and be able to build these healthy relationships in our families.
Thank you so much, Mom, for being part of this session. Thank you so much. May the Lord bless you. Thank you for being part of this session today. And if this is blessing you, please just like, share, subscribe, and the Lord will bless us together. Until next time, this was the Bold Session. God bless you.